Sunday fun day, everybody. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all enjoying your weekend. That's the most important thing. I know I said I wasn't going to do a model cars and coffee, but basically this morning have been screwing around on the computer for the last 3.5 hours. So I get on cults and my time just goes right out the window. So I went on there to find a transmission. I found a transmission. I got the file set, and we're printing the tranny right now for this project. But I decided to go through my emails. So thanks to the ones that requested shop cards, we will get those out in the mail the beginning of this week. So just so you know that. And then I had a couple interesting questions, but the one that he was kind of curious more about is the large scale slot cars. So he didn't realize that they had slot cars in 1/24th, 1/25th scale. So he just, knew about HO size, your small little Hot Wheels size. So he had a great question that he sent me here, and I didn't see it. I think he sent it sometime Friday. I just seen it now. Sorry about that. But his question was, okay, so if you're doing brass work on your models, and in the conversation from Thursday night show, other people were making comments that there was a few others that use brass from the slot car days. So he said, I've seen some of your slot cars, and you made the comment about how you enjoy the hard body cars. What does that mean? Okay, so before slot cars, we can go way back. We can really dive into a real rabbit hole here. Back in my dad's era, there was some Lexan bodies, but the majority of slot cars back in the day were model-based bodies, especially with Cox and Lindbergh and all them guys. They were building slot car bodies out of models. And the chassis that those manufacturers had were a lot of screws and brass and magnesium and aluminum, and you basically bolted them together and you have adjustable wheelbase. I have some of those vintage slot cars that were my father's and my uncle's. I have those somewhere, and when I find them, I definitely will show it to everybody. But when I was a teenager and the large track slot cars, the 1/24th, 1/25th scale stuff was available, everything was Lexan. And when drag racing came into place and these drag strips started popping up in some of these slot car tracks, all the bodies were Lexan. So Lexan bodies do not have nowhere near the detail. They got better as time went on, especially when people started doing these hard body classes. Now, hard body car is extremely heavy because of the model, so the performance factor is huge. If the thing crashes, it's like a pane glass window, it's gonna break. Where a Lexan body will take some absorption, and after so many times of it being buckled back and forth, it will eventually crack, but it's going to be a lot more durable on impact. Anyhow, we could be rambling all day here. Slot cars is a huge part of a lot of things in my life, and it goes way back even in the 60s and stuff like that, where a lot of your big name drag car chassis builders would race slot cars when they were kids, and they were scratch building chassis out of aluminum, coat hangers, brass, piano wire, all that stuff. And then they ended up being very successful and having very successful careers building one-to-one race cars that many professional drivers, big names over the years, piloted. So anyhow, but I'll show you a hard body one first so that you see that, and then I will show you a Lexan one. So let's flip this guy around. Alrighty, so I'm pretty sure I've shown this one already before. This is one of my 55 Chevy slot cars. This one here is kind of a little bit more of a nitrous looking car where it's still got the stock bumper and stuff, where the other one I've shown before, the maroon and charcoal one, is more of a pro mod style. So this is a model body. This is the AMT 55 Chevy. And then you can see here that this has got the two steel sections that you're basically soldering piano wire to join all them sections together. And these cars are quite heavy, but this is a model essentially. So this is what we would consider a hard body drag car. They also do have hard body classes for the 8-lane road courses as well. And that was something that got developed after the hard body drag stuff took off. But you can see here that, you know, you have all the nice detail of a real car in this slot car. So now we get into what we would consider a Lexan car. So I have a 68 Dart here. Now with a Lexan car, you're going to have quite a bit different rules. These bodies are extremely flexible. You paint these on the inside, and they are extremely light. So as you can see here, a thing with the Lexans are they're always going to have a molded in chin spoil because you want to get the air to go over to keep these cars on the ground. Basically, we have a little additional Lexan piece on the back for downforce. These cars will go a lot faster than a hard body car. And then also you can see here that the wheel well openings are not cut out. That is one piece of plastic because you don't want any air going inside that body. And then I have cut the back bumper out to try and get the air out. A lot of guys will go all the way up, but I still wanted the back taillights and stuff in there for aesthetic reasons. And then this car here is going to use a little bit of a lighter chassis. This here is what they would be considered. This is a laser cut spring steel chassis. There's different versions. You can get them in stainless, you can get them in regular steel as well. But these spring steel ones will actually bow and actually absorb any kind of differences in the track and torque and put traction down as well. And then this one here is a sidewinder, so the motor is parallel to the axle, where in the hard body we're running them as an inline. But this is extremely light, and you know, like I was saying, these bodies have gotten much better as DRS and JDS and a few of these other manufacturers put more time into molding. But these are extremely harder to try and paint all that detail because the lines and stuff and the molding are not as defined as a model. And it is kind of just a big chunk of Lexan when it comes down to it. Even this body, as nice as DRS did this body still is nothing compared to building a Dodge Dart model and sticking it on a chassis. It is what it is. But this is what we talk about when we say this is a Lexan. You can see how flexible it is. And so we don't necessarily call these soft bodies, but we just call it a Lexan class, and the Lexan classes are much lighter, quite a bit lighter as far as grams go versus your hard body cars. But to me personally, I enjoy these a lot better, especially for bracket racing. I mean, just look at that. That thing is way more sexier than this Lexan car. So that's just my take on it. And you know, the chassis design is of course different as well to get this car to handle versus that car. This car has to flex a little bit differently to get it to go down the track as quick as possible without chattering the tires and stuff like that. And then this one here, I'm also running as an inline. The motor is 90 degrees from parallel to the axle. So eventually I need to build a Dart slot car hard body. That's what I really need to do. But I just don't have the time right now, and I hope that answers your question, sir. That's the difference. So these Lexan bodies were very big when we were getting into it, and then eventually they started creating these hard body classes. So that's the terminology. It's just a model body. So let's flip this guy back around. Alrighty, so that is my model cars and orange juice. That's what we've got today. I already had my coffee, so I hope that explained the question that you had. I started to type a reply back in there, and if you have more details than that, I can definitely answer that. But I thought that was such a great question that it made it all worth it to do a little bit of a model cars and coffee video for it. That's the terminology that we've always used. Maybe that's changed. I haven't been to a slot car drag strip now for a good couple of years, so who knows. And I don't even know if anybody's even running Lexan. Last time I was there, pretty much everybody was running hard body cars, so I don't even know if anybody's really running Lexan classes anymore. It's a whole different animal, and the hard body cars are just so much more cooler, my opinion. But I think a lot of the racers feel the same way. I know some of the states down south still run Lexan. So anyhow, I think I wasted enough of everybody's time. I'm gonna get back to doing some more painting over here while the 3D printer is printing, and then just gonna have a really good time. We're gonna enjoy the time out here today before the work week starts. We're definitely making some progress on some builds, and I actually got some progress done on my buddy's tribute build, so that's really cool. I had some really good fun with that last night after dinner. I actually decided to come back out here and sit out here for about an hour and a half, and I got some really good mock-up time on that. So definitely got to make a video for that and do like an introduction of that whole tribute build for my buddy. So have a great rest of your Sunday. Enjoy everybody's model cars and coffee videos. I know I will. In fact, as soon as this one's uploaded, I'm going to turn on the old YouTube and start going through all the model cars and coffee videos and getting caught up while we're building, and have some fun. So take care, everybody. Remember, if you like this content, go down there and smash that subscribe button. Ring that bell if you want notifications. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down. And of course, support all the great companies that support this channel and many other channels. And like a lot of people say, remember, this hobby is supposed to be fun. So make sure you have fun and enjoy your time at your bench. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.